Hello students, welcome to the part 2 of chapter 2, that is forms of business organization. In the last lecture we had seen and learned about sole proprietorship and also joint Hindu family system. Now today we are going to learn the different form of business organization, and that is partnership firm. Now, according to Indian Partnership Act 1932, and after this, there has also been certain amendments and changes which have been done in 2013. So, according to the Partnership Act, it requires minimum of 2 members or 2 numbers of partners and maximum 20. But as I said, that after certain amendments in 2013, there has been certain changes in the maximum number, and now the limit is up to 200. So, but the minimum number of partners which are required is number 2. So, the relationship between the partner is created in the form of contract, and written contract is known as partnership deed. So, when any person they want to enter into partnership and they want to start a business, then they have to sign an agreement called as partnership deed. Now the firm means partners and the partners mean the firm, which means that over here all the partners can sue and they can be sued, and the profit is divided among all the partners depending upon the ratio which is agreed by all the partners. Like let's say for example, if 3 people join together and they start the partnership firm, and the ratio is divided among them, let's say 60%, 20%, and 20%. So the profit is purely decided upon the mutual agreement of all the partners as per the agreement. And no partner can sell or transfer his interest in the firm to anyone without the permission or consent of the other partner. Like let's say for example, if I am the partner in your firm and I cannot transfer my interest to the person or any other person without the consent of the partners. Now let's study about the advantages of partnership. It is very easy, so easy formation of partnership because no much legal formalities are required, no much documentation is required except of partnership deed and few documents. And over here, because the partnership firm involves more than 2 people, then it is easy to get the capital. So there is larger resources or capital. It's easy to get the capital, as if the partners are 3, then all the 3 are going to invest into the business. And sharing of risk and losses is also done upon depending on the agreement. So the person alone does not bear the risk of losses or liability. And there is better management and flexibility of operation. Now why so? Because every partner in the business might have different area of specialization, so that would give better management and flexibility in the operation, because each partner would have their own unique skill, knowledge, experience, and might be specialized in particular field. So this would help them to control, manage, and organize the things in a better systematic way. And as in the sole proprietorship, here also there is no corporate income tax, and it is very subject to fewer regulation as compared to the companies, be it joint stock company, that is private or public sector. Now talking about the disadvantages of partnership, all the partners, they have unlimited liability. Unlimited liability means that if the person or the partners are not able to pay the debt, if they have taken a loan and they are unable to pay the debt, then even their private property is at risk, which means that if the financial institution are not able to recover the debt from the partners officially, that is from their business, then even after selling the business asset, if they are not able to recover, then the private property of the partners is also at risk. Second one is limited life, which means that if any of the partner becomes insane or retires, or if there is a death of any of the partner, then partnership deed ends. And the rest of the, let's say if there were three partners, any one of the partner retired or he died, then that partnership deed ends. And now the rest of the two, they will have to enter into an agreement if they want to continue the business. So there is limited life. If any of the partner becomes insane or retires, or if there is a death of any of the partner, then the partnership ends. And the rest of the partner will again have to enter into the contract or agreement to continue the business. It is very difficult to raise capital in case of partnership because the sources are limited. It is the only partners who are contributing the capital into the organization. So the sources are limited, and there are chances of dispute among the partners, which can again lead to breaking of partnership. Now let's study the different types of partners. The first type of partner is active partner. As the name itself suggests, a partner who takes active part in the management of the activities of a business, he is known as active partner. Now he is the one who is also known as working partner because he is involved into the functioning of business in day-to-day operations. And he may play the role of a manager or an organizer or a controller of the partnership firm. And the active partner has unlimited liability. So he is called active partner because he is actively participating into the functions or operations of day-to-day business in the organization. The second type of partner is sleeping partner or dormant partner. Now, a partner who's not active and who does not take part into any of the activity of business, then he is termed as a sleeping partner. And he is just contributing the capital or money into the business. And he takes his share in the firm. So he has unlimited liability, and he is also known as dormant partner. Like let's say, for example, that I have invested 10 lakh into the business and I have given it to my partner. But I told them that actively I'm not going to take part in any of the functions or operations of business in day-to-day life. So that partner is termed as dormant or sleeping partner. But he does share the profit and losses of the business, and he also has unlimited liability. The third type of partner is partner in profit only. Now, when the partner is admitted into the partnership firm with a special agreement that he is going to share profit of the firm only and not the losses. So he's contributing the capital into the firm, but he has no right to take part in the activities of business. He's just going to share he's just going to take his part of profit into the business and does not share any of the losses. So the ability of such partner is unlimited. The next type of partner is secret partner. From the name itself, we can make out that this kind of partner is the one whose association with the firm is unknown to the people or is unknown to the general public, which means that if that particular person is a partner in that company, but he has made such condition that he wants to be a secret partner and he does not want the people or public to know that he is a partner of the firm. So he contributes to the capital of the firm, takes part in the management, he shares its profit and losses, he has unlimited liability, but he does not want to reveal that he is the partner of the firm. The next type of partner is limited partner. Now, limited means his liabilities are limited. So liability of such partner is limited up to the extent of the capital which is contributed by him, or up to the extent of his share in the capital and profit of the firm. So he is not entitled to take active part in the management of the firm, and the firm is not dissolved in the event of this kind of partner's death or bankruptcy. Now, in case of limited partner, as he cannot take actively part into the management of the business, but his liability is limited. So his existence does not matter to the partnership deed. The next type of partner is nominal partner. Now, a partner who does not contribute to the capital of the firm, but he is willing to allow himself to be represented as a partner of the firm is known as nominal partner. He is not entitled to take part in the management of the firm, and he does not share the profit or losses of the firm. And he becomes liable to the outsiders for the debt of the firm. Like, let's say, for example, if person A, B, and C are the partners, and person D, he is representing himself, he is allowing himself to be represented as a partner of the firm. So he is not taking active part into any of the business activity. He's not sharing any profit and losses. But because he has represented and because he has created such an image in the people that he is also a partner of the firm, so he becomes liable to the outsider if there are any debt of the firm. The next type is partner by estoppel. Now, a person who by his words, either spoken or written or through his behavior, he represents himself as a partner, then he becomes liable to those who advances the money to the firm. Like, let's say he cannot avoid the consequences of his act. Suppose a rich man, Mohan, is not a partner, but he tells Sohan that he is partner in the firm called Shipra Enterprise. Now, over here, as I said, Mohan is not a partner, but he told Sohan that he is a partner of the firm which is known as Shipra Enterprise. Now, on this impression, Soham sold him the goods worth 20,000. And later on, the firm is unable to pay the amount. Then Sohan can recover the amount from Mohan, because even though he was not the partner originally, but he had represented and he became partner by estoppel. Next type is partner by holding out. When the person is declared as a partner and he does not deny, even after becoming aware of it, then he becomes liable to the third party. Like, let's say, for example, that A, B, and C, they went to get the loan from any of the financial institution, and A, B, C, since these three are partner and D is a friend of A, B, C. Now D, when he also went along with them to get the loan or to just support them morally. Now, when they went to the financial institution or any of the person to get the loan, and that person X, he gave the loan to ABC, and he thought that D is also a partner of the firm. Now, when he declared that all the four you are partner, D, even knowing that the X is understanding that he is a partner of the firm, even after that, if he does not reveal that he is not the partner of the firm, then he becomes partner by holding out. Like over here, there is another example. Like suppose Shipra tells Sohan in the presence of Mohan that Mohan is a partner of the firm. But actually Mohan is not a partner. Even Mohan knows that he is not a partner. But he is not denying this in front of all. So later on, when Sohan gives a loan of 20,000 to Shipra on the basis of impression that Mohan is also a partner, but the firm fails to repay the loan, then Mohan becomes liable to repay that money because he did not declare that he is not the partner, or he did not deny that he is not a partner. So this is partner by holding out. Now let's say a person who has not completed 18 years of age. A minor cannot become a partner because he is not qualified to enter into a contract, but he may be admitted to benefits of partnership with mutual consent of all the partners. So if all the partners of the firm, they agree to take person X who is below 18 as a partner, so upon the mutual agreement or consent of all the partner, he can become the minor partner. And on being so admitted, minor becomes entitled to share into the profit of the firm. He can also inspect and copy the books of accounts or check the books of accounts of the firm, but he cannot take any active part in the functioning or operations of business. And his liability is also limited because he is a minor partner. So his liability is limited to the extent of the share in the capital and profit of the firm. But because he is a minor partner, he cannot file a suit or he cannot file a case against the firm or its partners to get his share except when he wants to disassociate himself. But if, let's say, if minor partner becomes major after 18, now the minor must give public notice within the 6 months if he wants to break this partnership or he wants to continue as a partner in the partnership firm. But he has to give the public notice within the 6 months of him becoming a major. If he does not give such notice within the 6 months, or if he decides to remain in the firm, he becomes liable to unlimited extent of the debt of the firm. So he will also becomes entitled to take active part in the management of the firm after he attains age 18. Now there are certain rights of partner. Every partner has right to take part in the conduct and management of the firm's business. Every partner has a right to be consulted and express his or her opinion on any matter related to any firm. So if there is any difference of opinion, then the decision has ordinarily to be taken by the majority vote. Like, let's say, issues like admission of a new partner, change in the firm's business, or alteration in the business, all this must be decided by the mutual consent of all the partners. And every partner has right to have access to inspect and copy the books of accounts of business and also record them. Now, every partner has right or equal share in the profit of the firm, unless and until if it is otherwise agreed by the partners. Every partner has right to receive interest on loan. If they have given any loan to the business firm, then they also have right to receive the interest and advances made by him to the firm. So the rate of interest should be 6% or as agreed by the partners. And every partner will have right to be indemnified for the expenses incurred and losses sustained by him in ordinary conduct of firm's business. So they also have a right to continue in the firm unless expelled in accordance with the terms of partnership agreement, which means that if any of the partner violates any of the agreement or breaks any policies or law which was mentioned in the agreement, and if he breaks it, then with the consent or with the mutual consent of all the partners, he can be removed. Every partner has right to retire in accordance with the terms of partnership agreement or with the consent of partners. So if any of the partner wants to retire, if he wants to break the partnership deed, then he can do so with the consent of other partners. Thank you very much. So this was all about partnership firm.